Welcome to a new video. My name is Jamb. This is Nomenclature, the best online learning platform in Nigeria, West Africa, and Africa as a whole. In this video, we shall discuss naming of compound, inorganic compound. How can we name inorganic compound? This topic is very important to all chemistry students. If you don't know how to name compounds, inorganic compound, I don't think you'll be able to understand any topic in chemistry. That is why it's very important for SS1 student to SS3, Jupeb student, Jamb student. Very important, must watch. And in naming of compound, we have to start from the basic part of it. How can we name compound? We have to start from the basic part of it. And we start from a compound that is called binary. Binary compound. Binary compound. What is a binary compound? Binary compound, as the name implies, binary. Bi means what? Two. Binary. When you have two elements coming together to form a compound. When you have two elements coming together to form a compound, that's binary compound. And there's a rule for this, which you must understand. There's a rule for binary compound, which you must understand. What is the rule? The rule is this. I call it first rule in naming of compound. That's my own trick. I call it what? First rule in naming of compound. What is the rule? The rule is what? Applicable to binary compound. Any binary compound. It could be what? Ionic binary compound. It could be transition metal binary compound. It could be covalent binary compound. It's applicable to all binary compound. Take note. What is the rule? The rule says that when two elements come together to form a compound, which is known as binary compound. Two elements come together to form a compound. The last element carries IDE. Take note of that. The last element carries IDE. When two elements come together to form a compound, which is binary compound, two elements come together, binary, to form a compound, the last element carries IDE. But before we go into this, I want you to understand this. Take note of this point. Take note of this point. There are some points you have to know. Take note. Point one. Let me write them here. Points. The first point. Take note of this. Oxidation number. Oxidation number of hydrogen. Oxidation number of hydrogen is +1. SS in ionic hydride and metallic hydride. Take note of that. Oh, take note of that. What did I say? I said the oxidation number of hydrogen is +1, except in ionic compound or ionic hydride rather and metallic hydride, which is -1. That means in all other compound, apart from what? Ionic hydride and metallic hydride, the oxidation number of hydrogen is +1. But when you have metallic hydride or ionic hydride, the oxidation number of hydrogen is -1. But in other compound, the oxidation number of hydrogen is +1. In other compound, oxidation number of hydrogen is +1. But in ionic hydride and metallic hydride, oxidation number of hydrogen is what? -1. Take note of that point. Another point, point 2. Oxidation number of oxygen is -2. Except in peroxide. Except in peroxide, which is -1. Take note of that. The oxidation number of oxygen in all compounds is what? -2. Oxidation number of oxygen is -2, except in what? Peroxide, which is what? -1. Take note of that. Peroxide, example of peroxide, where you have what? Hydrogen peroxide, where you have sodium peroxide, hydrogen peroxide. Yeah, the oxidation number of oxygen is what? -1. But in other compound is what? -2. Hydrogen is +1, except in what? Metallic hydride or ionic hydride, which is what? -1. Take note of that. And look at this rule. I said when two elements combine to form a compound, the last element carries ID. Take note of this. Another thing you must know, please, you can pause and write this rule because I want to give you something. You can pause the video and write out this rule because I want to give you something. Now, let me run this one off. Let me run this one off. Let me run this. Let me give you another thing to know. You have to know the periodic table of the first 20th element. The periodic table of the first 20th element. In a simple way, I will just look at it. Group 1, where you have hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium. Let me take away hydrogen. We all know that the oxidation number of hydrogen is +1, except in what? In metallic hydride or ionic hydride, which is -1. In this case, this group 1 element, they have oxidation number of +1, +1, +1. Take note of that. Group 2 element, where you have beryllium, magnesium, where you have beryllium, magnesium, calcium. Oxidation number +2, +2, +2. Where you have boron, aluminium. Oxidation number +3, +3. Take note of that. Where you have carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead. This one, they have oxidation number for +2 and +4, +2 and +4, +2 and +4, +2 and +4. They can exhibit two oxidation number, +2 and +4. Take note of that. +4. Then group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5. Let me put nitrogen, phosphorus. Group 6, oxygen, sulfur. 7, fluorine, chlorine. Take note of that. In this case, this one, they have oxidation number. Let me take -3, -2, -1, -3. The oxidation number because I need it. Then let's move on. I said when two elements combine to form a compound, the last element carries what? IgE. Look at this compound. For example, when you have this. For example, when you have this compound. In this compound, how many elements do we have? 2. This is a binary compound. That means we have sodium and what? Chlorine. This is what? Sodium chloride. This is an example of what? Ionic what? Compound. Therefore, take this rule. We now go to what? Types of binary compound. Types of binary compound. Then we start from what? Ionic compound. Let us start from ionic binary compound. Take note of this rule. I won't rub off that. Ionic binary compound. Ionic binary compound. Ionic binary compound. Ionic binary compound. Another name for ionic binary compound is what? Saline binary compound. Saline binary compound. Where you have group 1 metals, group 2 metals combining with what? Non-metals. When you have group 1 metals, S block element, S block element, which are what? Group 1 and group 2 metals. They are S block element. Combining with what? Non-metals. When you have S block element combining with what? Non-metals. That is what? Ionic binary compound. For example, when you have sodium chloride. Sodium is group 1. Chlorine is what? Non-metal. Group 7. These are non-metals. Group 7. Group 7. These are the oxidation number. Oxidation number of this is -3. Oxidation number of this -2. Oxidation number of this -1. Take note of that. The oxidation number of these are these on top. Take note of that. Then from here, binary compound. The last element is for chlorine. It carries ID. That's why you have sodium chloride. Sodium chloride. Take note of that. When you have this, that is potassium combining with oxygen. What is the name? Potassium. Oxygen is the last element. It will carry IDE. Potassium oxide. IDE. When you have this, calcium combining with nitrogen. Nitrogen is the last element. You have a calcium nitride. ID, calcium nitride. These are what? Ionic binary compound. Can you see we have just 2 elements in there? Then how do we write their chemical formula? For example, if I ask you, what is the chemical formula of for example, of lithium? Let me say lithium oxide. Lithium oxide. You should know that it's lithium and what? Oxygen. Lithium and oxygen. Therefore, if you look at this, lithium, Ni. Oxygen is what? Group 6. The oxidation number is what? -2. Lithium, group 1. Oxidation number is what? +1. And don't forget, valency is combining power. The valency of this will come down to this place. The valency of this will come down to this place. We have Ni2, then O1. Since it is 1, there's no need to write it. This is what chemical formula for lithium oxide. Lithium oxide. Lithium oxide. Take note of that. If they ask you, what is the chemical formula of calcium nitride? For example, calcium nitride. You should know that calcium and nitrogen, 2 elements, calcium and nitrogen. And what is oxidation number of calcium? Calcium is +2. Nitrogen, group 5, the oxidation number -3. What happened? The valency of this one will come down. The valency is combining power. That is the combining power will come down. This one will go here. We have Ca3. Then N2. That means calcium nitride. Can you see? Calcium nitride. If I ask you what is the chemical formula of magnesium, for example, magnesium, let's say magnesium nitride. Yeah, magnesium nitride. That means magnesium and what? Nitrogen. Magnesium, Mg. Nitrogen, N. You must quickly think it in your brain. Magnesium, group what? Group 2, oxidation number +2. Nitrogen, group 5, oxidation number -3. What happened? This one come down here, this one go down here. You have magnesium 3 and what? 2. That is chemical formula of magnesium nitride. If I ask you, what is chemical formula of, please, you can pause the video and practice them. What is chemical formula of, for example, calcium oxide? You should know calcium and oxygen. Calcium and oxygen. Calcium and oxygen. And calcium is what? Group 2 +2. Oxygen, group 6 -2. In this case, +2 -2, they will cancel each other. Take note, different sign, but the same number. They cancel each other. Therefore, you have calcium oxide. If I ask you, magnesium oxide, what will be the answer, class? Think it. That means magnesium and oxygen. Magnesium is what? +2. Oxygen is -2. What happened? The same, but different number. Different sign. The same number, different sign. They cancel each other. That magnesium what? Oxide. We have so many. I'm still on what? Ionic binary compound. Ionic binary compound. If I ask you, what is the chemical formula of, let me assume I say, okay, I said beryllium fluoride. Beryllium fluoride. That means beryllium, group 2, Be. Fluorine, that means fluoride. This is fluorine, group 7. And beryllium is what? +2. Fluorine is what? Group 7, -1. What happened? Valency, combining power. This one comes down here, this one goes down here. Beryllium, 1, then fluorine, 2. That means this one comes down here, this one. Therefore, beryllium fluoride. Please take note of that. And before I go to the next video, let me give you some assignment under this one, ionic binary compound to do. Please practice this one. Do this one for me. Do this one for me at home. And drop your answer in the WhatsApp link below. You have assignment. You have sodium sulfide. Try this. You have magnesium chloride. You have calcium sulfide. You have let me say lithium nitride. Please try this at home and drop your answer in the WhatsApp link below. Please don't forget, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please share it with your friend, comment, like it, share it with your friend, which are science students, and we are here to assist you in making distinction in your Waec and making good score in your UTME. I remain myself, Jamb. May God bless you. Amen.